Oh my God. Okay. Episode 3, AK Unhampered. What do we think?
I think it's going good.
I'm having a blast.
We're getting used to it.
I'm so glad we don't record the pre-show.
Oh God, we'd be banned. But
I don't think so. But I don't know. Maybe we'll do like a special clip of the pre-show bloopers. Who knows?
Extra explicit. I don't know.
We're rated E for a reason, and it ain't for everybody. So today's episode I have lined up. I've decided we're going to call it Wedding Bell Blues.
Oh boy.
I mean, we can both relate.
I got eloped in capris and a tank top at the mayor's office. So
I got married in my mother-in-law's backyard with my brother-in-law leaning up against the porch swing post we were using as an altar, going, "Run, brother, run."
That is very redneck. I love it. It's hilarious. With
my sister-in-law leaning on the altar on my side, glaring daggers at him.
It would have been hilarious.
My pictures are amazing.
As long as I'm not involved in the wedding drama, I'll watch from afar and enjoy.
So, okay, get the mental image. You've got the dude with the beer screaming, "Run, brother, run." His girlfriend leaning behind me, mad as hell because he's telling his brother, "Run, brother, run." And then I'm pregnant. And I'm wearing high heel shoes in the mud. It was a whole redneck affair. It was great.
You should have had shotgun shells on the
We really should
arch. You really should have.
The preacher wasn't actually a preacher. It was just a wild day.
See, I want a wedding though, but I don't want an extravagant wedding. I want a backyard wedding type. I don't want frou-frou. I want a cheap chip-in. I want a fun wedding.
I've spent $200, and that's flowers, dress,
that's
food,
what I'm talking about.
Everything. And that was just because my sister-in-law was friends with a lady who worked at the bakery at Kroger who said she would bake the cake if I bought the stuff. So I bought a box of the, Betty Crocker red velvet cake mix with the icing. And I was like, okay, take her this.
That'll do. See, if I ever have a wedding, I want a fun, cheap wedding.
I don't know. I did the whole dress shopping and everything with my mom. And you know what? Free plug here for David's Bridal. Their $100 dress rack. Amazing.
Look at my prom dress.
I mean, I really wanted that red sash. And thank God I have shady family who isn't above robbing a mannequin. So
goodness. I'm going to require tiaras for the maid of honor.
You're going to require a what?
A crown for the maid of honor, because that'd be you.
Why? No.
Just because you hate it. Okay, fine. I'll get something you like.
My sister-in-law made me wear a tiara at her wedding.
You can wear what you want.
Okay, so I was a mo. But you know what? I'll just save that story to go with one of the ones I've got saved up for today's episode. You ready to dive into it?
Yes, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. So we're just going to go for it. So we are just going to start off with the first story of Bachelorette because, well, that comes before the wedding, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we are going to make my computer do what it's supposed to do.
Did you have a bachelorette party?
I did not.
I didn't either. Which, like I said, I eloped. It was kind of spur of the moment, but...
Okay, so the first story we have today comes from the subreddit Bridezillas.
Ooh.
And it's titled Bachelorette Party Cost.
Oh.
Hi all, one of my oldest friends is getting married this year. She's planning her bachelorette trip and she wants it to be an all-inclusive resort in Mexico. Ooh, fancy.
Mm-hmm.
She told everyone it would be over $1,000 per person.
Oh, crap.
I think the resort is $800 and our flights are estimated at $200 to $300. While this does sound like a nice trip, budgets were not discussed beforehand. I guess I thought maybe she would ask what we were all willing to pay before she started planning. When I told her $1,000 is a bit much for me, she told me $1,000 is actually below average for a bachelorette trip. Is that true? Mm-hmm. I'm also getting married this year and I don't want my friends to feel pressured to dump money on me like that. So really, is $1,000 normal? What's the standard here when budgeting for a trip like this? I hope this is the right place to post about this. Thank you.
Personally, we're from a very small town area. None of us are spending that kind of money. on ourselves. We're not having our friends spend that kind of money. No.
I mean, the way I look at it, I'm hosting this big elaborate event that I'm inviting everyone to, my friends, my family, the wedding, and then, the bachelorette. I didn't have my own bachelorette because, well, I called off the wedding and then lost my ever-loving mind and put it back on with 2 weeks' notice.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm not the brightest crayon in the box sometimes, but I cannot, and it could just be the way I'm raised, somebody hop in the comments and correct me if I'm wrong. I cannot imagine saying, okay, you're my bridesmaids. You're coming to my bachelorette. By the way, I hope you got a couple thousand in savings because we're going to Mexico.
No.
I don't know. I feel some kind of way about that.
Usually a bachelorette is set up by the bridesmaids and the maid of honor. Typically. At least in our traditional area.
That's the way I always thought.
And on top of that, they usually chip in and pay for the bride. Like everybody chips in a chunk for the bride so she doesn't have to pay anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine, dandy, whatever.
Weddings are already so expensive.
Yeah. And you can have a really nice trip. Look for discounts. Go through a travel agent or something. They usually have packages for wedding parties. Usually. And $1,000 is a lot. I mean, if you want to spend that much, then you have to have a discussion about it beforehand. You can't just expect everybody to go. And then you definitely can't get upset when they say, I'm sorry, I can't go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with you because the way I always thought it was that the maid of honor and the bridesmaids got together and planned it for the bride. Not the bride says, this is what my bachelorette's going to look like, and y'all are spending this, and you're wearing this, and we're going to be here at this time, and you're going to do this, and what?
It's a little controlling. I get some people may be that way. Okay, that's fine. But if you're going to be that way, you cannot do an extravagant trip like that.
Yeah.
And just expect everybody to pay before you talk to them.
That could just be the small town leaking out of us because
maybe.
I mean, you and me, we weren't exactly dirt floor poor, but we weren't rich kids.
I don't know. I ate shit on a shingle a few times.
Hey, shit on a shingle is delicious. And if you don't know what that is, you ain't living it. Now, I mean, I don't know. I feel some kind of way about it. Let's see what the people in the comments think. The first comment says, it doesn't matter what's normal. If you can't afford it, then don't go. But also remember it with your own. Maybe plan something much smaller because you understand everyone has a budget. The whole bachelorette thing has gotten out of hand. I agree. I mean, I get you going out, one last night, of being single before you settle down with your person, hopefully forever. But
I personally don't want to get wild and out because if I'm with somebody, I don't care if I'm married or not, I'm not even looking at another guy.
I am perfectly happy. And I mean, honestly, to be perfectly, completely honest and expose online how pitiful my social life is.
Mine too.
I'm going to have you and Mom and my daughter. That's it. That's all I got.
I'm not even opposed to combining a bachelor and bachelorette and have all the guys and girls together.
Yeah,
and just have a fun time.
I mean, okay.
We know everybody. We comfortable with everybody.
I mean, the OT's not exactly cheers, but everybody knows our name.
This is true. I walk in there, I know at least a handful of people if it's crowded.
I mean, I left home for over a decade, and I walk into the OT, and everybody knows who I am. I'm like, aw, I feel so loved.
Yep. No, and another thing, and this is probably more an environmental how we grew up thing, but if we did in a more extravagant trip, and we wanted that, we're going to budget for that ourselves.
Mm.
And we're going to be like, how much can you guys afford?
I would never.
And if they can't or whatever, we will buy them.
I would never. Or at least help pay for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
What can you afford? We'll make the difference.
Okay, so say I did decide I wanted to go to a beach in Mexico for my bachelorette if I ever tie the knot again. Okay? You've only got, say, $300 in savings. The trip is $1,000. I'm not going to ask you to blow your entire savings account for a party for me. I work at a sand and gravel yard. I'll get a dump truck full of sand and we'll build Mexico in my front yard, okay? We'll the neighbor will just have to be mad.
Well, that's why you talk. You see what everybody has to contribute, and you try and split it as evenly as possible. The whole point of a bachelorette is you get the people you care about around you to support you, to celebrate with you, and you want them there, so make a way so they can be there.
Yeah, some of these
But don't break everybody.
Some of these brides are, well, it's in Bridezillas, and there's a reason. And see,
I've been in terrible weddings, and it wasn't even a bridezilla, it was a mother-in-lawzilla, but...
Oh, somebody here makes a good comment. It's away from the bachelorette party part of it, but it's another good point. So in the UK, the bride pays for the bridesmaids' dresses, which I think is better, is they don't have to pay for a dress they don't want. And that's another thing I read a lot of stories on. It's like the bride says, okay, you're buying this dress. It's a $500 dress. I know they say you can shorten it and wear it again.
Not usually.
That is a lie. I have got a dress hanging in the back of my closet right now. It was my maid of honor dress. I'm never wearing that scratchy motherfucker ever again.
I need to see this now. You're doing a fashion show later.
No, I'm not,
yes,
because she got cake on it.
Oh, seriously?
She dropped cake on my dress. And I'm like, and that was after she was an hour and a half late for her own wedding.
Oh, God.
So I ended up buying all of the bridesmaids' dresses. She didn't pay for her bridesmaids' dresses. I did. I bought them. I paid for them. She gave me the sizes. I had them all delivered to my house. And then I had to drive to another state with these dresses after I worked that morning. And then I had to get everybody dressed. And by the time I got there, the makeup lady done bowed out. So I'm like, you know what? To hell with it. I'll do my own. And then she stuck this god-awful giant gold crown on my head.
That was pretty funny.
Cowboy hats and gold crowns. It was...
I have gold.
Sis, if you hear this, I love you so much. I do, but don't ever stick me in a giant gold tiara again, or I'll stab you with it.
And I don't know you, but so far I really like you. So
she's actually a really cool person. She really is.
She really is. I don't mind meeting her, actually. But
I love her to death. But under pressure, absolute spaz. Absolute spaz.
I'm kind of the same way.
She had this one girl there. We're going off topic again, but it's what we do. She had this one girl there. And I guess they had gotten close in a program that they were in together.
Yeah.
I'd never met this woman before in my life. But I was Mo. And she's following around, like literally stepping on the back of my shoes, following me around. Like, we'll do this, do this, do this. I finally looked at her and was like, I don't even know your name, but it's lovely to meet you. She's late. Gotta go. And I'm shoving my sister into the car. Like, we have to go. Come on, Fluffy. Come on.
Well, to get back on the bridesmaid dress. Okay, so I've been in 2 weddings. One, it was jeans and a camo shirt. They provided the camo shirts. The bride's family did, which is totally fine. I loved it. Loved the shirt, honestly. It didn't stand up, but I loved the shirt.
Hey, real trees where it's at.
The other one was my cousin, and her thing was, she said, you can wear whatever dress you want. And I can't remember specifically if she had like she didn't have a specific pattern, but she said like below the knee. I had a long ankle length dress, but you can wear something in your closet. You can buy a dress, whatever, whatever you can afford, whatever you want to do. I love that. Now, it wouldn't have been a bad thing if she had a color scheme or a pattern or something like that, and let somebody do whatever they wanted. It's not, that's fine.
That's how Sandy did it. I've been in 2 weddings.
Yeah, that's fine. I think that's perfectly fine. Or offer to buy the dresses, which typically in our general tradition, the bride's family typically pays for the dresses of the bridal party. And I don't know about the venue. I think the bride's family chips in a lot, actually, for most of the wedding.
Yeah, traditionally.
Morally, I don't really care, but I don't want to expect my guests or the people who I have there for my honor to pay a bunch of money. I'm asking them to be there. I'm not going to ask them to spend a bunch of money.
See, when Sandy got married, sorry, calling you out by your real name, we love you. When she got married, she just told me, buy a blue dress. I can do that. So me and my mom scoured like 3 different malls until we found somewhere, because there were no dresses out that time of year. It was cold.
Oh, I take that back. I've been in 3 weddings. So she did have a color scheme. She just said navy blue.
You were in Sandy's?
No, it wasn't Sandy's. It was my friend Pam in Vincent's. But she just said navy blue, and she sent me the color she wants. I'm like, I can work with that. So I bought a dress on Amazon, and I haven't worn it since, to be honest, because it just doesn't. I don't like how it fits. But I brought 2 dresses. But I like that idea. Just get a cheap, it doesn't have to be a fancy dress. And honestly, I want them to be able to wear it again. I don't want them to buy a dress or an outfit or something they cannot wear again. That's
you don't want
wasteful.
You don't want it to be like mine and hang in the back of the closet
No,
forever.
I want them something they like, something they'll wear again. Same thing with my wedding dress. It's probably not going to be traditional if I ever get married.
I just jumped on Amazon. She told me her colors, and I'm like, I can work with that. I jumped on Amazon and I took screenshots of 3 dresses. I said, tell them to pick one.
Mm-hmm.
So here's another comment. It says, and it's about the brides buying the bridesmaids' dresses. It says, I believe it used to be that way here in the U.S. I don't know when everything changed. When I got married 100 years ago, you paid for stuff. Even when your kids got married in the 80s, we paid for the bridesmaids' dresses. Now suddenly brides are not only expecting the bridesmaids to pay for their dresses, but for super expensive parties, a whole bunch of other stuff. I think these brides need to get over themselves. And I agree.
I do. It's kind of like a spoiled social thing. I don't understand it.
This person comes on here and says, what happened to just having a party? I'm down.
Somebody's house.
Light a bonfire, break out the bottles.
Yeah.
Don't break out too many bottles. You don't want to be hungover at the altar. And everybody just celebrate.
And honestly, go somewhere that it's safe to stay overnight.
Absolutely.
I agree with, because I want people driving if they've been drinking.
Oh, God, no.
Or have a designated set of people for DDs, something.
Yeah. So, no, I don't think this OP is in the wrong for thinking that it's a little extreme.
It is.
It's a little extreme.
It is. And I don't know how they could handle that unless they banded together and told the bride, listen, this is awful expensive. Let's look at something else.
And she's probably got one of those mo's that's like, well, it's not that much. It's like, okay, maybe for you. What about the rest of us? So this next story I've got lined up is a little bit near and dear to my heart. In a way.
Okay.
Because, well, you remember I told you that because my very good reasoned ex-husband was unaware of how to properly hang a sign, my dad wasn't able to be at my wedding.
Yeah.
So this one, kind of hits sideways. This one's coming from the subreddit AITAH, and it is titled, Am I the asshole for not letting my dad walk me down the aisle?
Okay.
It says, growing up, my dad wasn't the best father. He left when I was 10, started a new family, and barely stayed in touch. Birthdays, school events, and even my college graduation went by without a single call from him. My mom, on the other hand, worked 2 jobs, made countless sacrifices to give me a good life. She was my rock, my cheerleader, and my biggest support system. Now, I'm getting married. My fiancé and I decided early on that I wanted my mom to walk me down the aisle. It just felt right. She earned that spot, not my dad. When my dad found out, he was furious. He said that it's tradition for the father to give away the bride, and that by choosing my mom, I was disrespecting him. The thing is, I don't feel like he's earned the right to that moment. He wasn't there for me when it mattered most. I explained this to him, but he accused me of holding a grudge and trying to humiliate him in front of the family. Some of my relatives agree with him, saying I should give him a chance to make things right. But this isn't about revenge. It's about honoring the person who stood by me through everything. My dad says he's heartbroken and that I'm being unfair. Am I the asshole for not letting him walk me down the aisle?
This is my wholehearted feeling on this. She's not being malicious.
No.
She's not. This is from the heart. I don't see anything wrong with it. And I get maybe he is brokenhearted, but it's because of his own decisions.
He made a choice.
He could have made more of an effort.
Oh, no. Are those consequences?
And she's not making a big deal or rubbing it in his face or humiliating him, because she's not going up on the microphone saying, I'm not having my dad walk me down the aisle for this, this, and this. It's just there. And I'm sure, it's not malicious. If it was a malicious intent, I could understand it being wrong. But it's not.
I mean, I'm going to fall back to something I said in the Baby Daddy episode. You don't get that place of honor without earning it.
Just because you helped create them.
Just because you laid down with a woman and made that child, and that little girl is now a grown woman and getting married, does not give you the right to that place of honor.
Exactly.
You got to do the thing. You got to do the dad thing to get the dad positions of honor.
I mean, how many dads and moms, for that matter, are steps, and they are more of a parent to the child than the child knows their actual parent. It's so sad. But how many of those, and I love when they step up. And I've seen like the videos where the child gets older and they present, they want them to adopt them because they've had nothing to do with their bio person.
Those always make me cry.
Me too. And it usually makes the steps cry too. And I absolutely love them. But it's like, it doesn't matter. Blood honestly isn't what makes it. I've always believed that. It is who is there.
The blood of the coven is thicker than the water of the womb. The family you create holds so much more weight than the DNA.
Exactly.
And that's just the way it is.
It really is. I think that's honestly where it takes a village comes from, if you think about it, because they're not blood related usually.
Well, I mean, honestly, it just takes that many people to rein in a crazy ass kid.
Too. But like, I don't. If she doesn't want her dad, if she doesn't feel compelled to have her dad walk her down the aisle because she doesn't feel close to him, she doesn't feel a connection with him, I don't think she should have him walking down the aisle.
The person, well, like she said, her biggest supporter, her rock, her cheerleader,
her mom,
the one who sacrificed and did for her to get her to this point. They did the work to earn that position. It's not, well, I laid down with your mom and that's my spot. No, it's not.
No, you weren't there during the most important times.
Were you there on her first day of schools? Were you there taking her to sport practices and picking her up?
He didn't call her on her graduation.
Were you there for graduations?
That's a huge, huge stepping stone in people's lives.
That is a major milestone.
And for somebody not to be there, that'd be a big kick.
I mean,
even if they weren't there before that, that'd be a big kick.
My parents divorced when I was 3 years old. But even for all the crazy differences that they had, and then obviously they had them because they separated, they put all of their nonsense aside and they were there together. My stepdad was there. Everybody was cordial. Everybody was civil during visitation pickup and drops-offs. Everybody was there for graduations. I got, Dad's not a big be in the pictures kind of guy.
Yeah.
But I got to sneak. But I mean, prom pictures, everything. Was he there? He wasn't there for proms. He wasn't there for graduations. He wasn't there for first dates, first heartbreaks, first anythings. I mean, she was 10 years old. You haven't had, you've had your share of firsts, first steps, first words, things like that.
But there's so many more.
There's so many more critical milestones to come. So no, I don't think he's earned that spot.
No, I agree with her. I completely support her in that decision.
The top comments, not the asshole. It's 100% your choice who walks you down the aisle. So and there's a lot of comments on here, everybody going, who's paying for the wedding? I don't care who's
It doesn't
paying.
matter. If he wants to contribute, fine, that's great. That's a step, but that doesn't necessarily earn him to walk down the aisle.
Cannot buy the position of honor. And that's one thing. I know families like this. It's like, they act like,
money is what gets you.
I'm not going to drop any names, but I know somebody very close to me. And it's like, okay, well, if you don't do what I want, I don't love you anymore. Or I've got all this money, and if you don't do what I want, I'm going to take this money away. And that is so damaging. Who cares about the wallet?
Money's not everything.
That green don't mean a thing. It don't mean anything other than you're a manipulative asshole.
Yep.
Money cannot buy you love or a position of honor.
No.
You got to earn it. It's all earned.
And I am all about not being bought. Like, you want to do something nice for somebody, great. You do it out of the goodness of your heart. You don't expect something out of it. And buying people, I've never understood
that. Feels so icky.
I know. I've never understood that.
Yes.
And honestly, both of my relationships were started with no money. So it's obviously that's not what I'm about. But it's like,
build. You've got to build. In this comment, you're definitely not the asshole. He lost the right to your respect years ago. You owe nothing to him and nothing to the concept of tradition. Your head and your heart are in the right place. Next comment says, not the asshole. Ask him about the tradition of fathers being involved in their daughters' lives. What happened to that one?
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like if you go back to, I don't know if it was the baby daddy or the relationship, but the guy who just wanted his wife to keep having babies, but he was never there. The kids didn't even know him hardly.
No.
It's, you don't just have kids to have kids.
You have to put in the work.
You have kids to love them and show them love and care.
You
raise them.
You have kids because you want to be a parent. You want to pass on your traditions and your values and your beliefs, and to get all the snuggles and the loves and the squishes and all the stuff that comes with it. You know, but in order to get all the snuggles and the squishes and the loves, you got to deal with the sleepless nights and the colic and the poopy diapers all the way up into the back of their hair.
And the attitude.
The attitude. Oh my God, these teenagers and their attitude. No, they write all these books. What to expect when you're expecting.
No.
What to expect when they become teenagers.
I need
books, that one.
But I don't feel like it fits, at least not mine, because you've met my child.
I have met your child. I love him to death.
Total his own breed.
Well, the problem is your child is just like we are. He's got 26 different personalities. You never know if you're getting 1 through 17.
God had a sense of humor.
Yeah, he spilled the spice jar. He just meant to put in a dash, but the top popped
My
off.
mom said, your kids are 10 times worse than you. She got me.
You know, and you know what my mom told me?
What?
My mom told me, and then I've done some digging, and there's actually research studies and stuff to back this up. Kids are 10 times, if not more, crazy with the parent that they trust.
Usually the mom.
Usually not.
Yep.
Because, well, okay, think of a kindergartner in school all day. They have to sit down. They have to be good. They got to hold it in, rein it in, rein it in. I can go home. I can be crazy in a minute. And they get home and they explode because they're in their safe space.
Now, see, my kid's therapist said the same exact thing. And here was her reasoning. Because they feel so safe with you that they feel like they can let it all out. And you're going to be there for them.
They can show those negative emotions.
And you're still going to be there.
And you're still going to love them.
And they know that, so they're going to use that. That helped me get through so much.
I swear to God, God made him cute so we wouldn't kill him.
And he's adorable. He comes up with some sweet things. Everybody loves
I've seen him. He can be so sweet when the mood hits.
Yeah. And then it's like, can you go back, demon? Just backtrack a little bit.
It's like, don't make me get the holy water and the crucifix. Love you, Mom. Okay. Oh my gosh. Speaking of shitty families.
Oh boy.
I've got a couple on that line. Got another one coming from the subreddit AITAH.
Okay.
This one is titled, Am I the asshole for leaving my sister's wedding after she made me the butt of a family joke?
Depends on the joke.
I got a pretty thick skin, but I tend to get pissed off relatively easy.
Kind of depends on the
especially in public. You humiliate me in front of a crowd, I'm going to make your life hell in private.
It's hard to embarrass me, but if you do that, ooh.
It says, Am I the asshole for leaving my sister's wedding after she made me the butt of a family joke? I, 25 female, have always been the responsible one in my family. I've helped raise my younger siblings, worked 2 jobs during college, and even financially supported my parents when they hit a rough patch. My older sister, Rachel, 30 female, has always been the family favorite. She's outgoing, funny, everyone gravitates toward her. She got married last weekend, and things hit the fan. For context, Rachel has always had this playful habit of roasting me at family gatherings. It started with harmless jabs like calling me Mom Junior because I'd remind everyone to take their meds or clean up after themselves. I laughed it off for years, but at some point it turned mean-spirited. She started calling me Ms. Buzzkill, saying I didn't know how to let loose because I preferred reading at home over clubbing. Flash forward to the wedding. Rachel asked me to give a toast as her maid of honor. I thought it was a huge honor, so I worked hard on a heartfelt speech about her finding love and the bond we shared as sisters. But when it was Rachel's turn to speak, she gave this whole jokey speech about the woman I've always looked up to, as a reminder of what not to be. She then went on to, jokingly, compare me to a 1950s sitcom mom who probably schedules fun time. Everyone laughed, but I felt humiliated in front of 200-plus guests. Even my parents were cracking up. I wanted to keep it together, but after the speeches ended, I quietly excused myself to the bathroom to cry. When I got back, the jokes hadn't stopped. People at my table were still making comments about me being a buzzkill while pouring drinks. I couldn't take it anymore, and I grabbed my purse and left. Since the wedding, Rachel's been blowing up my phone, calling me dramatic and saying I ruined her big day by storming off. My parents are siding with her, saying it was just a joke and I need to loosen up. I told them I'm done being the family punchline, and now everyone's calling me selfish for making the wedding about me. Am I the asshole?
I want to ask real quick because I missed the age. What's Rachel's age? Is it 20?
The OP is 25.
Mm-hmm.
The older sister, Rachel, is 30.
She's 30. Okay. Okay, so here's my take, only because I don't know what was said. I think what was said, like the actual speech, might be important for details here. And this is why. And you know as well as I do, a lot of us have morbid personalities.
She said that she looked up to her younger sister as who not to be and called her Miss Buzzkill.
And are those quotes?
And a 50s sitcom mom who schedules fun time because she doesn't know how to let loose.
If she actually said those quotes, then it's wrong. She's not the asshole. That's wrong. She could look up to her. I think that's great. And I wouldn't put anybody down, not even her actual parents. But she did a hell of a lot at her young age, working 2 jobs during college. I did college working part-time. I mean, there was like 3 part-time jobs, but still, it's not easy.
I'd put them down. They're assholes.
Like,
they parentified her. She was helping raise her younger siblings.
She was.
She's working 2 jobs and going through college and getting her education.
And taking care of her parents.
Which is insane. Financially supporting her parents. No.
The way it's supposed to be.
No.
Like, I'm very, very, you know me, I'm too understanding with different situations.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really lenient on a lot of that stuff. And I don't like to put people down because everybody goes through hard times at different stages in life. But she needs to be not necessarily glorified, but she definitely needs some kudos.
She does
not need to be put down.
She didn't deserve it.
No.
And her parents sitting there laughing about it.
As much work as she did, she deserves kudos, not being put down.
I mean,
anyway,
jokes are supposed to be funny.
Not at the expense of somebody.
If the person you're making the joke about is in tears, not laughing, it's not a fucking joke.
It wasn't.
It's cruel. That is cruel.
It's mocking.
You know, okay, so the younger sister is helping take care of the older sister and the parents and the younger siblings. And she makes her the maid of honor. So you know that she helped plan the wedding. She helped plan the bachelorette. She did all this stuff just for her to work on this speech to boost her sister up about how good of a sister she is. And she's so happy that she found love and her husband and all of this great stuff for her sister to stand up and be like, yeah, look at this bitch. Madam Buzzkill over here. No,
OP did right. OP did right. She was amazing.
She had every right to take her shit, flip her sister the bird, and walk out.
And honestly, go no contact. I don't. That would be such a betrayal to me for somebody to do that publicly on top of that. It wouldn't matter if it was publicly or not, but publicly on top of that, after all of that.
I've got a thick skin in private, but when I'm in front of a crowd, I can't take it.
I don't do critique in a crowd.
I cannot do. That was one reason me and that one teacher at school with mustache did not get along.
He was very public.
He thrived on public humiliation.
Yes.
And I couldn't stand it. That's why I got a D- as a graduation present. So we didn't have to look at each other anymore.
I got in trouble for that a few times.
That was my one class I needed to graduate. And I was straight up failing.
I was related. He left me alone for the most part.
He fudged a grade so I could graduate because me and him didn't want to look at each other anymore. He didn't like me. I didn't like him. Neither one of us kept it a secret.
I still loved MS arguing with him. Absolutely loved it.
Did you know he got extra credit on his tests for his doodles?
Did he really?
Yes.
Did you know he got pulled over for reading a book while driving and crossing the center line?
Honestly, that does not surprise me.
He did. He did.
At all.
I'm like, I'm kind of impressed, but you did cross the center line. I would have been more impressed if you stayed in your lane.
I got a ride home one time from, oh my God, what was his last name?
Yes.
Big Goofy.
Yep.
Yeah. I can't remember his last name to save my life, and I kind of feel bad, but.
I do. M.
What? Oh, it was?
Yes.
I got a ride home from him one time when my car was broke down, and we had musical practice, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Never, ever again.
No?
I did that one time. He had both knees on the wheel, one foot on the gas, his phone in his hand playing a game. And I'm like, dude, you're going to kill us. Please, please. I reached over and grabbed the wheel at one point. He didn't even have his knees. I was driving. And I'm like, please take me home and don't kill me.
I would have been like, listen, pull over. I'll drive myself home. You can drive from there.
I couldn't. He drove a Standard.
Oh, crap. I would have figured it out.
So, no. But anyway, back to OP here. Into the comments. It says, not the asshole. Time to go no contact with your family and see how it goes. Absolutely. It's a little rich. The parents who took financial and material help from their college-age daughter were laughing at you being called a buzzkill. You were doing all those things to plug the holes they couldn't. It's great you helped, but you can just stop. Let them figure it out. Go buy books, travel, do things that bring you joy. Let them keep their life and the party and their jokes. You'll be all the better for it.
It's disrespectful on top of everything else. It's just, you can joke with people and even at people, even with at their expense, but still be respectful.
Yeah, I mean, you can crack jokes.
Lines.
We rip on each other all the time.
All the time.
But not to the point of cruelty.
No.
No. I would fully expect you to slap me with a banana again if I did that. Best Thanksgiving memory ever. Random banana slap.
Unplanned.
Completely random banana slaps. That's how we roll. It says, leaving was the right call. No one deserves to be humiliated in front of a crowd of people, especially by their own family. What Rachel did wasn't playful. It was cruel. If she can't respect OP, then OP is not obligated to stay in a situation where she's being ridiculed.
Agree.
No. She had every right to get up and say, fuck this, I'm out.
I mean, just think about it. You put all this pride in somebody that you helped one way or another, and you put all your pride in yourself, which pride can be dangerous, but there's limits.
Pride goes before the
they're a little bit's okay, and she should be proud for what she did. Not everybody can do that. I couldn't do that. And then to be disrespected and completely put down by somebody who you are so proud of, it's such a kick in the nuts, honestly.
Just straight kick in the lady balls.
Yeah.
Another comment says, fucking crazy that two grown-ass adults whose child had to help them financially decides it's okay to laugh at her. And I don't understand letting the oldest daughter always tag on the one who is actually responsible and has her shit together. Honestly, I don't understand not raising your child better than that, and I'd be shutting it down if my kids thought they were about to act stupid like that.
It shows their character as parents.
Yeah, OP has absolutely nothing to worry about with her character. But those parents and that oldest daughter, what is it with
Rachel? Ashamed of themselves.
Yeah, no, both of my kids, I done told them, I'm like, okay, and what's going to happen if I catch you acting like that? You're going to kick my ass? Yeah, that's it.
Even my kid gets that. Now, he still acts stupid, but he's also got other issues he doesn't have much of a filter or stopper at all.
He has a very leaky filter. I'll give him a leaky filter.
I don't even know if leaky's the word. It's like got a giant hole in it and just about like...
There is no changing his filter. We love him, but it's just not going to happen.
No.
But, I mean, oh my God,
I'm heartbroken for her.
Yeah, I can't imagine doing all that.
Because I haven't done that much work, but as a friend, I've been there for people, and they completely betrayed. Like,
I love how people, they forget all the good things you've ever done for them. That one time you stand up and say no, that's the one they remember.
And it's not even about... If I do something for somebody, I don't expect something back. I don't. And you don't either. We're like that. We do stuff for each other all the time. We don't even think anything
Put
of
good out there.
But
It'll eventually come back when you need it.
it's like, but then one thing, they stand up for themselves. One, there's no reason to go on her like that. But two, even if she was in the wrong, she's been there for them how long?
Her whole life. Sounds
They should have still been supportive and been able to have a conversation and not publicly humiliate her.
I agree with that one commenter. Why are you letting your oldest child rip on the child that actually has their shit together?
They should not be supportive of
No.
not the OP. They should be supportive of the OP.
No, the older sister,
Yeah.
Rachel, they need to be riding her ass. Like, no, your sister didn't
She was
come in.
wrong.
No,
She was
older sister was all wrong for that.
I don't get people's mentality. I feel like I have a pretty level head when it comes to balancing things fairly well. And I don't get that mentality.
No, I can be an asshole.
But everybody can.
I really try not to unless I'm pushed to that point. I try to be good to people right up until they push my boundary of, okay, I've had enough of you.
But see,
I've had enough.
your trigger's closer than mine. Not many people have seen me past my trigger point. I don't know if you've ever seen me past my trigger point completely. You see me pretty damn well. Okay, yeah, you have. But yeah, that was a pretty big trigger. But
that was trigger.
Not often. It does not happen often, and it takes so much to push me there.
It costs nothing to be a decent human being.
It doesn't. It's free.
It's free to not be an asshole.
Well, you can even be an asshole and still be a decent human.
Yeah.
Honestly, everybody's capable of being an asshole. And honestly, a little bit of asshole's fine.
Everybody.
It's healthy. But
everybody can be an asshole. But some people
need to rein it in.
They've got the dingleberries. It's bad.
And they're missing them completely.
And older sister here has got the dingleberries.
Yeah, she needs to.
Thunder cunt.
I feel bad for her husband.
I don't.
Yeah,
he picked it.
Maybe she was high. Well, she did have the speech, so he should have known better. I don't know. Just, ugh.
Yeah.
Indecent people. Bob.
All wrong. OP, you're not the asshole.
No.
Tell your sister we said get fucked and stay that way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We're going to jump along to the next story. And this one kind of reins in on us, too. I'm ripping on us today. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. So if I'm picking on us, we have plenty to talk about.
That's true. We pick ourselves all the time.
We're not old enough to have lived this much. I'm just throwing that out there.
We're not. We're really not.
This one also comes from AITAH.
Okay.
Says, am I the asshole for being concerned about my best friend rushing into a marriage with someone she just met?
I'm going to go with no already.
Guilty monkey over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Says, I, 20 female, am really worried about my best friend, 24 female, because she's getting married to a guy, 26 male, she's known for only a few months. This is something I've noticed with her before. She tends to jump into relationships quickly, but this time it feels like too much. And after just a few weeks of dating him, she's convinced he's the one, and now they're getting married in less than a month. I've voiced my concerns to her, saying I think she might be rushing into this and that she should take some more time to really get to know him before making such a huge commitment. But when I brought it up, she got really defensive and accused me of being jealous. Now she's not speaking to me, and I feel like I might have messed up by not fully supporting her decision. I honestly just want her to be happy, but I'm worried she's making a mistake by jumping into something this fast. I know it's her life, but I can't shake the feeling that she might regret this later. So now I'm wondering, am I the asshole for not supporting her and voicing my concerns? Too long didn't read. My best friend's rushing into a marriage with someone she just met a few months ago, and after voicing my concerns, she's now not talking to me. Did I mess up by not supporting her decision?
I have a lot to say on this because I actually know people.
Yes, you know people. I'm
obviously ourselves, but I actually know. I know people that it's worked out. So here's my thing. I worked with somebody, absolute angel doll of a girl. Absolutely love her to this day. Love her. Don't even talk to her much, but I love her. 4 months they accidentally met because he sent an accidental Facebook message. They were dating for 4 months and they got married. They hitched, and they are happy. It's been years. They are happy. They are so happy. I think it depends on the people. I honestly do. I think it depends on the people. there's that honeymoon phase. You really want to get past the honeymoon phase, which I think they said lasts roughly 3 to 4 months.
The first year is so the hardest.
See, I was told 2 years is the hardest. Personally, I don't really see a pattern necessarily. I say the first year because you're getting to know each other better, but I think it depends on the people. Anybody can make it work if they're willing to do it.
It is work. It's work from both sides.
Yes. But here's the thing.
Disney lied to us.
Oh, God. Don't get me started. So here's the thing. If they are both in it and they have the same goal, they want the same things, and they are willing to work with each other, make sacrifices where they need to make it. And I'm not saying change who you are as a person. You don't change your morals and values. That's not what you change. You change your behavior. You change your behavior. That is what you change. And that's where a lot of people get messed up. It can work, but you need to be in tune. You need to be thinking, okay, here's what I like, here's what I don't like, and you need to be communicative. You have to communicate or it won't work.
And I've learned that the ability to agree to disagree on some things is so critical.
It is. Some things. You can't be major things. I will put it cannot be major things. But minor things it can be.
Well,
and I honestly think it's possible to only know each other a couple months even and plan to get married. If you know the big things, the values, the morals, what you guys want, what your end game is, and everything matches, and then it's just the little things in life, you can work on that.
Politics is one of them things. And I don't political.
Yeah.
I live in my bubble.
We have standards. We just don't publicize.
I think all politicians are just like diapers.
Mm-hmm.
Change them often for the exact same reason.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got the way I think. And then, well, like my boyfriend now, he's got the way he thinks.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it doesn't line up.
Right.
But rather than getting into a screaming match, like I've been trolling Reddit real hard, especially since we started this podcast.
Yeah.
I've always been a lurker, but now I'm actually digging in. And there's so many posts about, am I the asshole for leaving my husband because he voted for Trump? Or am I the asshole for leaving my wife because she voted for Biden? Or any of this stuff. And I'm like,
if you can't get past
you obviously loved this person before the election. You're going to let this destroy everything?
Their behaviors don't change based on who they voted for. You are there. You love them for whatever it is that you love them for. If you hated them, you probably wouldn't be married to them.
If your fundamental values
are life values.
Yeah. If your values, because, like, okay, I know who I voted for. I'm not going to put it on here because I don't feel like getting canceled right now. But, okay, do I agree with every single thing that they said?
No.
Absolutely not. But the pieces and parts that I do agree with outweighed the pieces and parts that the other candidate was going with. So I just made the choice based off of my values.
Yes.
Because you can't believe everything any politician says.
No.
Everyone, I'm full of shit.
It's all candy coated.
Sugar-coating things ain't good for nothing but diabetes and cavities. But, so, I mean, like, you need to be with somebody long enough. Like, okay, guilty monkey over here. Me and my ex-husband, we had been together about a month and a half to 2 months-ish when he proposed. I did not know that man. I knew what he told me. Which all turned out.
Book cover.
Which all turned out to be a lie. Yeah, don't believe the dust jacket. The dust jacket is not the whole story.
Give it time.
So just on my experience, I would say that OP's friend is putting herself in a precarious situation. Am I happy to hear that you know people that it worked out for? Absolutely. But, I mean, in my experience, I feel like I got played like an out-of-tune fiddle.
I feel like a month is way too soon.
Wait.
4 months, I think, is doable because the honeymoon phase is somewhat ending, maybe completely. And it also depends. This is another big thing. It also depends on how much time you spent with them physically.
exactly what I was sitting here thinking. Because
Have you been with them stuck in traffic? Have you been with them when they've been mad? Have you been with them during a heated conversation? Have you been with them with family, your family and theirs? How many experiences have you been with them through?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how you learn people. And you learn people your entire lives. I don't care if you've been married 1 year or 50 years. You're
There's
still
always
learning
something
them. You're going to know them to an extent, but there's always something new.
You never know who they're going to be in a particular situation until you're in that situation.
Exactly. If you spend 3 or more days a week with them, I think it's completely possible to know if you want to marry them pretty quickly.
I was
all the time.
I was with him for a month and a half. He proposed, okay, so we met the end of March. We got together and we were married by mid-October.
Mm-hmm.
Super fast. I didn't know how he was going to behave during certain things. I know that rather than, giving me a hug when I was crying when Grandpa broke his hip, he was going to mouth off with, well, prepare for the end, because that's what happens when old people break their hips. The violence I wanted to commit, but I didn't because it's wrong.
Mm-hmm. But see, here's another thing to think about. And it's not necessarily age, but experience. But we were both very young.
Oh, my God.
We didn't have the experience. We didn't know what to look for, what questions to ask, what things. We didn't even know fully what we wanted back then, be honest. It's totally different mindset. Now we know what to look for. Now we know, okay, I don't like that behavior. You may ask questions about it. Is that really their behavior, or was it one-off? Is that really how they are?
Well, and it's kind of the difference between, my ex-husband and the guy I'm seeing now.
Mm-hmm.
So my ex-husband proposed after a month. I did not know that man.
Mm-mm.
I was with him for 13 years, come to find out that I didn't know a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I've been with my guy now. It'll be 2 years next month.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still learning new things every day.
Huh.
I mean, no major toro red flags yet, but you get a little orange here and there, some beige,
Nothing that can't be worked on.
Nothing, but I mean, nothing deal breaker.
Right.
No deal breakers.
And the fact is, you don't spend every day with each other.
And with it being long distance,
I feel like that takes more time.
Like, honestly, flat out, gonna admit it, on recording, published on the internet, absolutely love this guy. But if he were to drop on one knee right now with a ring, I would probably do the same thing I did the first time he said he loved me and freak out and hang up or run away. And because there's still so much. And a lot of that is scarring from the first marriage.
Yes.
And
it's the fact that you don't know everything.
Yeah. Experience is a wonderful teacher.
It is.
But it teaches you with a sledgehammer sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of hard to come back from.
And both of us learn the hard way.
Yeah, my grandma always said, the lessons learned the hard way stick because stupid's supposed to hurt.
Well, that's fair.
And it does. Oh, stupid hurts. So if we go over here into the comments, it says, you're not the asshole for voicing your concerns. You care about her and just want what's best for her. It's hard when someone gets defensive, but maybe she'll come around once things settle down.
I have something to add, and I apologize. She should be supportive. She should be supportive. She should not say, don't do this. She should be like, listen, I have some concerns. This is them, but I will support you no matter what. Then if it doesn't end well, she needs to be there for her.
And it sounds like that's what she did. She said, I voiced my concerns saying I think she might be rushing and she should take more time to really get to know him before making such a huge commitment. And I mean, that's not...
It depends on how she said it.
Well,
exactly.
If she said it like that, it's, look, girl, I love you, but I'm worried.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that you're happy, but you might be skipping some steps here. Just be careful.
Mm-hmm.
The next comment says, not the asshole for being concerned, but as a friend, you should be supportive. It's possible that she has found her love of her life, or it's also possible she's making a huge mistake. She's slightly older than you, so that also may be an issue. Just be there to support her in case she needs you in the future.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Well said.
Like, girl, I love you. I got your back no matter what you choose. But should this fall apart, I'm right here.
And
I got
careful.
you.
And always wish them to be careful.
And it's like, be careful. I love you. I wish you the best. But girl, wine's on tap.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I have got one more. So this last story also comes from the subreddit AITAH. Can't tell what my favorites are, can you?
I love that. AITH.
Am I the asshole? I am absolutely the asshole.
Sometimes.
Always. I am an asshole. That's what you get for being a dispatcher.
You're not an asshole to me.
No, but I like you. Am I the asshole for leaving my sister's wedding early and causing a scene? Air quotes. Says, okay, so my sister, 32 female, got married last weekend and it was supposed to be the happiest day of her life. But now I'm 28 female, being called selfish and immature by half my family. I don't know if I'm in the wrong here or not. For context, my sister and I have never been super close. She's always been the golden child, and I'm like the leftover kid or whatever. Our parents made it pretty obvious growing up, but still I tried to be supportive and help with the wedding when she asked me to be her bridesmaid. Fast forward to the wedding day, and everything starts out fine. I'm in my dress, hair's done, smiling for pictures, you know, all the bridesmaid duties. But then during the reception, my sister gives this long speech thanking everyone who helped her special day happen. She thanked our parents, her in-laws, her husband, obviously, the other bridesmaids, but not me. She literally skipped my name while thanking the bridal party, even though I spent hours helping her with stuff like centerpieces, last-minute errands. Everyone noticed, including my boyfriend, who leaned over and whispered, "Did she just skip you?" I brushed it off and thought maybe it was just a mistake. But then her maid of honor, her bestie since college, goes up for a speech and jokes about how she's basically the sister my sister never had. Like, what? Everyone laughs and claps, and I'm sitting there like, cool, guess I don't exist. At this point, I'm feeling super embarrassed and hurt. I try to stay calm, but when my boyfriend suggests we just leave, I agree. I don't want to cry at the table and make it even weirder, so we left quietly. Apparently, people noticed I was gone because the next day, my sister texted me saying I ruined her wedding by storming off. I told her I didn't storm off. I just felt unappreciated and needed space. She doubled down, saying the day wasn't about me and I'm selfish for making it a big deal. Now my mom and some aunts are siding with her, saying I was disrespectful, but my boyfriend and a few friends are on my side, saying I was treated unfairly. So Reddit, am I the asshole for leaving my sister's wedding early?
No, and I have been told by certain people, and I know you can relate to this, that I'm causing a scene when it's not me that's causing the scene. And I really hate being told I'm doing something when I'm not. Like, it's a big thing with me. And chopped liver. You know that saying? I have felt like chopped liver so many times in my life. It is not a good feeling.
When you do and do, and they're like,
it's so disappointing. And if you feel it in your heart, it hurts. Which I'm more emotional than a lot of people, but it hurts.
I have feelings.
You have feelings. I know.
Don't let them hang out very often because people tend to aggravate them.
And it's annoying. But I've gotten control over it. But I feel like she did the right thing. She quietly got up and left. She didn't make a scene. She wasn't like, I'm leaving. You know, it wouldn't have went any better if she went up to the bride and said, hey, we're leaving. It wouldn't have went any better. She would have probably made a scene.
She didn't jump up and throw her the double eagle and bow out.
They quietly stepped out. There's nothing wrong with that.
Now, my question is, though, she was a bridesmaid. Did they have it set up where they're at that big, long table in the front and then the bridesmaid at the end just kind of flips away?
So,
I mean, that would honestly be the only thing I could consider making a scene. But, I mean, for all anybody there knew, she could have just excused herself to the bathroom.
But, you know, betrayal is a big thing for me. And to me, that's a betrayal.
Well, yeah.
It is. And that may be a strong word, but to me, that's a betrayal.
That's
it's like,
the perfect
you
word.
put in all that work. You are her sister. You were there for her anytime she wanted you to be on her convenience.
But her bestie is the sister she never had. Bitch, you have a sister. She's sitting right there. Stop it.
Like, it wouldn't have been so bad if she didn't forget her in the thank yous.
She didn't forget.
No.
That wasn't
if she named everybody else but her. That was not a forgetful.
You know who your bridesmaids are. You pick your bridesmaids on purpose.
Yes.
You pick them on purpose. You know who they are. You know what they've been there with you through and all of those things.
Yes.
You pick them on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And she on purpose left her real sister out in lieu for her best.
And I just don't. Whether you're close or not, she helped you. She's there for you. Be thankful.
She did this, helped with the centerpieces and last minute errands and, oh God, somebody's curls are falling down, run and pin them up. And I guarantee you that the Mo didn't do that, because the Mo is the bestie from college who's the sister she never had.
We come from I don't know if environment, I guess.
We come from the woods.
That we're close. Like, if we have them in our bridal party, we're close.
We come from the woods where you have to rely on each other to get by. You leave somebody out or somebody's not pulling their weight, everything falls apart.
I mean, that goes back to high school behavior, if you think about it. And so many adults have high school behavior still. It amazes me. And I just
peaked in high school. And
I look at them and I'm like, did you never leave high school? I don't get it. I've grown so much since high school. My morals and values have even changed. It's like, behavior is one thing. It should change.
Who you are as a person is supposed to evolve over the years as you grow and you learn and you experience life. But these people that are stuck on
immaturity
I was the quarterback and she was the homecoming queen and that's where it stopped.
No.
There's so much more life after that.
And I've also never been a social, what is it?
Says the girls who were never homecoming queen.
I didn't want to be.
No.
But like too much attention. But I can't think of the word, but because you know me.
Social butterfly?
No, I don't take statuses, social status or financial status. I don't hold status for anybody. No. The janitor is just as important as the president or CEO. I don't care.
We're not the royal
care about
family.
The people.
Your title doesn't matter.
I care about the people, the person. I don't care about your status.
And they're a mess anyway.
Right.
But yeah, so no, absolutely you're not being
No, she did not create a scene, and shame on all of them.
I mean, I would have jumped up and give her the double eagle, but I'm like that. I didn't used to be like that.
Me either.
But I've become a bit of a jaded bitch over the years.
I'm still pretty calm, but I do stand up for myself. I didn't used to.
No, there is no sense in being somebody's doormat, and that's exactly what she wants sister to be.
Yeah, I grew up being a doormat my entire life until I got older.
I got tired of being muddy.
Now I'm mouthy.
Muddy, mouthy over muddy. I love it. We're gonna put that on a t-shirt.
Perfect.
Mouthy over muddy.
Yep. Brown t-shirt.
No.
Purple.
Maybe for you.
Pink.
I don't.
It's
What's wrong with
hot
you?
Neon pink.
Ew. No. Do the comments.
God, you're picky.
I am. Says, not the asshole. It's time to go very low contact with your family. Your boyfriend's a keeper. Tell him kudos from an internet stranger.
Good job, boyfriend.
Yes, absolutely kudos to the boyfriend, because how many guys would just sit there like, why are you mad?
Mm-hmm. Like, they wouldn't even notice what the issue was. He noticed without her saying anything.
That is so amazing.
I don't know his age, but that's amazing in itself.
Says, not just one internet stranger. Tell him kudos from the entire internet. You're not the asshole.
Mm-mm.
Another comment says, she set it up so you either had to sit there and be insulted and belittled, or she could abuse you for leaving. Either way, she wins.
Mm-hmm.
Cut her out completely, and anyone else who thinks the way you were treated is okay. And I agree with that.
I do.
Because, I mean, there's no way that she thought, okay, so I can be a complete bitch to my sister, and she's just going to sit here and take it. Or I can be a complete bitch to my sister, and then I can run my mouth and be a complete bitch to my sister, because how dare she not put up with me being a complete bitch?
Mm-hmm. See, that was with my doormat thing. I wouldn't cut people off. I'd still show up when they needed me to, wanted me to, whatever. I got to the point I say no. Now, I don't necessarily cut everybody off, but I go low contact.
Mm-hmm.
And most of it's for my own well-being, my own mental health.
Your own mental health is so much. And this is something that I had to learn in therapy. You have no control over other people's emotions. Mm-hmm. They really want you to believe that you do, so that they can keep using you to make themselves happy. But there's one thing that I learned. It is givers have to set limits, because takers don't have any.
Right.
They will take and take and take until you're absolutely used up with nothing left to even get yourself out of bed in the morning. They're like, oh, well, that sucks. Time for a new supply.
Yep, exactly.
And it's a miserable existence.
It is.
Don't do that to yourself. It says, what are the chances that OP's absence was only noticed by very few people, likely the parents and sister? The sister's blowing it out of proportion, especially given how quick mom and aunts are on sister's side. I really doubt the celebration stopped, nor people were searching for OP because no one bothered to call her or text her that night.
Mm-mm.
They waited till the next day, till the party was over, to pitch a fit.
Yeah, that's exactly. Like, she didn't cause any kind of a scene. She wasn't the main attraction there. If anything, people were like, oh, something came up.
Yeah. Everybody's focusing on the girl wearing white.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Just they're not focused on anybody else. They're focused on
The
the bride and groom. That's the whole reason for the party.
Mm-hmm.
This comment says, not the asshole. She did it on purpose, which is made obvious by her accusing you of storming out. She's a cunt. She can take her bitchy drama and fuck off into the sun.
I totally
I like
agree with
it.
that. I love that.
Next comment says, not the asshole. Your sister's a bitch.
Fair.
Pretty blunt.
Yep.
What a complete obnoxious cow. Your entire family deserves to be on the no contact list. It will be a long time before I talk to any of them again. Not the asshole.
I'd say my piece and leave it at that.
Oh, and the maid of honor is a cow too.
Yep. Agree.
They had to come back. So yeah, no, the overwhelming vote is not the asshole. And that the bride, the mom, the aunties, the whole everybody going, well, you made a big scene. No, she didn't. She quietly excused herself from a situation where she was being treated like shit.
Mm-hmm.
And if that upsets you, then you need to go take a long, hard look in the mirror. Why are you so upset that somebody let themselves out of a situation where they're being treated poorly?
And in a quiet manner.
Mm.
A very quiet manner. They slipped out. I just don't.
Says you are not the asshole. That truly is gaslighting at its finest.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry they disrespected you when you left. Pig piled on you the guilt for not sitting through their disrespect. You're a better person than that because I would have thrown hands over that disrespect. Again, we don't condone violence, but some of our people are in the comments and I'm here for it.
Mm-hmm. Very much.
I would have asked to make a toast and say something sarcastic and bitchy about the wedding because what? If I made a big dramatic exit, then I'm going to make sure I'm living up to the title.
Mm-hmm.
Amen. So yeah, that's what I've got on here for this episode. And yeah, I don't understand what it is. And there seems to be two very large events in families that bring out the absolute worst in people.
Weddings and funerals.
Weddings and funerals. You are a mind reader. I love it. So that is everything I've got for the Wedding Bells episode. Wedding Bell Blues. Yeah, wedding bells can be really depressing if you don't do it right.
Weddings are supposed to be happy, not
Weddings
stressful.
are supposed to be happy.
Like, there's going to be a little bit of stress, but let's not make them overly stressful.
Yeah, well, I agree with one of those first comments in the first story. What's going on? It's gotten completely out of control.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's supposed to be a happy time. If you can't make it happy, then it's not worth it.
What's the point in doing it?
Go low.
If you're going to make yourself and everyone around you miserable, it's not a good thing.
Make the wedding what you want it to be in a happy way without overstressing yourself or anyone else.
Yeah, there's just no sense in it.
No.
Well, I guess that's everything we have for episode 3 of A&K Unhampered. So we've been working on our techie stuff. So right now we're up on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and Amazon. I'm working on getting us some socials together. We're not there yet. If you haven't, don't forget to hit the like, the subscribe. Leave us comments. We want to know what you think.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing right? What are we doing wrong?
Anything you want to hear?
Anything, you want to share, you want to tell us, leave us a comment and tell us that we suck and you hate us. We don't care. We just tell us what you think.
We just need to know.
We need to know. We're nosy. We have to know. I vacuum the grass, listening to the neighbors. I'm nosy. I want to know. So we will be back next week with another episode, and hopefully it's just as juicy as this one. Bye.
Bye.